But yeah, fleet peeking should be coming. But as I was saying, you know, warp prism with charge lot warpins, as well as mothership recall ability with blink stalkers is a really good way to harass your opponent, attack your opponent, even though you can be pinned down on 3 bases or whatever you might be on at that time. Colossus production is continuing, I presume. You should be careful. Whenever your opponent sees Colossus, they're obviously going to make Corruptors. So, again, just don't make too many Colossus, and whatnot. So, it looks like Terry Red Bandit has gone to Roach production. A little bit odd. Roaches are obviously good, but for this late game situation, he's just trying to overwhelm me with the pure amount of units, but Roaches just can't kill Colossus because their range of 4. So that makes them a little bit inefficient in this point of the game, which is why he backs up. And it looks like we're just sort of at a standstill right now. Fleet beacon still not on the way. What the hell, man? Oh, mothership is coming. Okay, so it is done. All right, there we go. All right, all is well in the world. It looks like I should be taking 4th base any second now. And my opponent still has a pretty big lead. He's been in the lead in supply probably the entire game. He's been a base ahead at least, basically the entire game. And he's just now saturating, well, not really saturating, but he's just now getting his 5th base underway. As I start to get my 4th base underway. Just a mess of stuff down at his natural. In the unit stat, we do see 52 larvae, which is a pretty good amount. He's been hitting his injects for sure. So that'll allow him to re-max out, even if I can somehow kill this army. And it looks like he almost has as many Broodlords as I do Stalkers, and that's just typically not a good situation to be in. I do try to blink around and kill as many as I can. The Colossus doing a ton of damage from afar. My Stalkers numbers actually not getting taken down too quickly. It's kind of surprising. More Stalkers are warping in. And it looks like with only 4 Broodlords left, you can only do so much damage with those. But there are still almost 20 Roaches down on the ground. Sorry about the lag. It's just sort of what happens in this game. Mothership finally enters the battle, and because of that, my Mothership has entered the battle and is cloaking my units. Woohoo! I did warp in some more Stalkers though, and that'll sort of be the death of these Broodlords. 1 Colossus did manage to survive the fight. Looks like it might get taken out right now though, if I'm not careful. Come on! Micro! Just a little micro! Just a little micro! Alright, it doesn't matter. Colossus OP, so micro is built into the unit. But yeah, so I secured the 4th base, even though I did take a lot of losses there. Units lost tab just showed that I'm actually ahead somehow, miraculously. And here comes a huge Roach push. Not sure exactly what this can do, but a Vortex basically secures the defense for now. A little weird he didn't just put all his units in there immediately, but I'm sure he's macroing back at home. You can see a ton of units on the way. Still sticking on Roaches. I guess he thinks he's got me on the edge of defeat. And he just sort of wants to put the nail in the coffin right now. Finally using Blink. As you can see, my micro is pretty much awful. So, whatever micro I do is something to really behold. Now, Mr. Tay Red Bandit does leave a couple of Corruptors. A little bit of a bad rally, but I don't really take advantage because my micro is not permitting me to do so. Another bad rally, but not really too big of a deal right now. He does have a pretty sizable bank. He should look to get this base saturated, and you might look at this and think, why is he not getting workers? He's already at 76, which is sort of like the minimum of what you want to be at right now in his shoes. But also, more importantly, he's getting the gas, and as Zerg, that's really all they need. But still, I should be trying to punish this. Did I get charge, is the question. I never got charge, so getting a Warp Prism and charge, like I said, just put it down right there, the Warp Prism, warp in some Zealots. Maybe at the same time, get your Ball of Stalkers, attack into his natural, just opposite ends of the map. Get his units spread out, give yourself more time to mine minerals and whatnot, and just some basic harassment you can do. At the same time, though, if you don't have the energy to recall, and you don't have charge or Warp Prism, then it's sort of hard to do that stuff, so looks like the defensive spine crawlers are going to be bringing to my front. I did not order these though, it must have been a misship from UPS, so Vortex is not done yet. Not a ton of Broodlords though. Kind of surprising. I actually want to show you guys. I remember this fight, and I was pretty disappointed in myself. Again, not to spoil anything, but we're gonna watch from my camera perspective. Just keep in mind my bank is basically broke, and at this point I'm waiting to get enough Vortex energy. If you look at the supplies, I'm about even, and the army tab will show I'm way ahead. So I see these Broodlords spread out. I see Spine Crawlers. You know, I'm pretty sure he's got a maxed army with a bunch of Broodlords, so I know I can't Vortex and catch them all. So I'm just trying to find a favorable angle to engage this in, which would be the correct response if you know he's got a superior army. But the simple fact is he didn't have a superior army, and we can see the Broodlords didn't really go down didn't really consist of a high number as I assumed they did, and because of that, my little flank cost me a base. Now my Archons are entering the toilet, as you saw, but there's only a handful of Broodlords in there, so it doesn't really matter too much, and they get pushed out pretty far, but it doesn't matter. Archons are beastly, so whatever. While I try to poke down and see if he's got this expansion, I do want to show you guys what I did here. This is just in case he were to have bird infestors try to lob infested Terrans down from above. Having this little defense here basically prevents that from happening, so just a little tip if you guys feel like doing that on this particular map. And now I'm feeling confident, you know. I got my Order of Viagra in the mail, and my confidence is spiked, so I'm going to be pushing out across the map right now. He does have a decent amount of Spine Crawlers at his 4th base, and his 5th base is almost probably a better target for me at this point, and it would be just in general because of how mined out this is, but my 4th base is also the target, as it happens to be, and 3 Archons, one of which is getting targeted down. The 4th even is alive. How cruel. It's just not enough to defend this base, and we will see if I can manage to save this. He does have a decent amount of firepower, but Roaches attack pretty slow. They do a lot of damage, but they attack pretty slow. And he doesn't have any attack crits for them, which is actually pretty common, and it does go down. And no 4th base, and it's at the 32-minute mark. That won't be up for another 2 minutes at least, so now I'm thinking one thing, and that is counterattack. In the supply, we do see I'm ahead by quite a bit. Once again, Units is going to show that, Units tab I should say, Units tab is going to show that he is well ahead in the workers count. And as always, that means that my army is even more powerful than it normally would be. Now, as I said before, using Stalkers to harass is great. Now, I could have just used my army because I had a far superior army. Little did I know. But doing this sort of play also means you can defend your base at the same time. And actually, is this the game? I think this is the game. I can't remember. We're going to have to see. Otherwise, I'll get back to what I'm all geekly about. Tons of Broodlords from Red Bandit, and now I'm going to be running away. Now, even though I do have enough energy to recall, I'll show you that right now. I have 143. If you can manage to do this damage and not have to recall, that is really the best case scenario. We can see a little bit of a Ling pressure right here. He's going to see this wall though and probably back out, although he knew that was there anyway, so I don't really know what he's trying to do right now. Anyway, so I do kill his 5th base, which is great. He's going to try to reestablish it really close to my 4th base. A little bit risky, but really he had no other option at this point. And like I said, if you can get your Stalkers back without recalling, that is really best case scenario. A very bold blink forward by me, but it looks like he's not going to care to move back because he knows that I'm just going to plan on recalling. Now the problem with doing this is you leave their mothership with 100 less energy, as I've said as many times as I possibly could in one video. But it's still true, and even though my army might be superior in the numbers, in the upgrades, in the everything, my Vortex is not done. So I need to buy time, buy about 10 more seconds, and if he doesn't snipe my 4th base, that'll basically be fine with me. You can see I'm backing up my entire army just to get these Corruptors away from my mothership. He does take a ton of damage from those Archons. And here we go, looks like I have enough energy for Vortex. I get about half of the Broodlords-ish, but because I sort of slice his army in half as well, I am able to pick off just a couple of stray Broodlords. Zorgon's attacking Zealots, for him, is really not what he wants. Looks like the Mothership might go down. Broodlords in the Vortex going down. Flintstock killing his Broodlords on the left side as well. And, you know, my micro might be bad, but Mothership is good. That's all I've got to say about that. And it looks like I'll be going in for the cleaning blow. Doesn't matter. He's not going to give me the opportunity to do so. Tons of Golden Colossus. All Broodlings, for the majority anyway. Anyway, don't know why I said that, because this game's over. So, wow, I really didn't even mind much from this base. That's pretty surprising that I was able to afford that much of an army time and time again. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed these 2 PvZ games. If anything, I would encourage you guys to try to take PvZ into the late game. I know, especially on this map, there's a lot of 2-base all-ins you can do as Protoss, which, to be honest, are a little bit too good. A little bit imbalanced, in my opinion. I've sort of recently thought the Immortal was overpowered, and one of those Immortal Sentry builds really exploits that. And it sort of shows that might be true. But regardless, all I'm trying to say is, you know, personally I find it more fun to play these longer, drawn-out games, just in general, especially against Zerg, because it's not like you're going against Terran where you can get drops every other second. But yeah, so, you know, rely on the Mothership, get a Mothership out early. That's sort of like the... If you can take away anything from this game, it would be that. It's just really, really good for everything, so... we didn't get to see any charge lot harassment in this game. I didn't even get charged, so... I think I was just so worried about trying not to lose my bases every other second that I just didn't really want to do that sort of push out. So yeah. 333 upgrades I'm talking about. I mean, I can keep talking forever, but I'll let you guys go back to watching some good StarCraft games. Now, a couple things I just want to talk about, actually, about watching StarCraft games. Day9 TV, if you guys aren't subscribed to Day9, you definitely should be. Not only does he have his cool Day9 dailies, which, if you want to get better at this game, those are pretty good to watch. But also, he does post games from tournaments that he casts. He just posted, what was it? The IEM tournament. It was him, Kalaris, you might not have heard of him, as well as Artosis and Tasteless, all casting a ton of games from IEM tournament. I actually watched them all, not ashamed to say it. Really good tournament. And then also Team Liquid. If you guys aren't subscribed to them, you definitely should be as well. Huge part of StarCraft in general, but also they do post tons of pro replay tournament games, so those are pretty cool too. So if you guys are getting a little bored of my drawn-out, never-ending analysis of why Mothership is so sexy, then check this stuff out. So next time, my next videos will be more analytical. They will be more cookie-cutter-esque, just breaking down my builds. Because I do have a lot of... I actually have 3 builds right now for PvT, which I do like. One of them is a little bit shaky, but if I end up posting it sometime this year, you'll see it for your own eyes. And then I do have several for PvP, which I'm sort of working on, and then PvZ has just been my best matchup, so I'll probably have one more refined build maybe in the near future of this matchup, just so you can see exactly how I like to play this matchup out. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck on ladder.